Well, I wanted to introduce you to, this is my 1987 Ferrari Testarossa. I had to move some cars around, so I got it down. I'm going to take it for a little drive and just warm up the fluids. Been a little while since it's been out, and hopefully you enjoy the video. And this is where it is. Stereo is hidden in these cars. Underneath, in the middle here, just folds right up. These cars came from the factory with no stereo. They were already pre-wired, so you could put in whatever you wanted. So whatever the stereo was of the day, that's kind of what you got. What people put in. I just redid the interior in this, and had all the seats out and everything else. Put in new carpet and made it a little nicer, so the stereo never worked, and now it works. But we'll keep it off for you. This thing searches a little bit at cold for an idle. There's no power steering in it. They did not come with power steering until later years, so until you get moving, it makes it a little bit harder. It's just how Ferrari does things. They want you to have a feel for the road, etc. This is a flat 12-cylinder, so see, it's still cold. So under $2,000, it will sometimes until it gets warm, just needs to warm up. There's a lot of oil in the motor. It has a dry sump oil system, which means that it has a separate container on the side that holds about 16 quarts of oil, and until that warms up, it's got an oil temperature gauge down here, oil pressure gauge, water temperature. Transmission also needs to warm up the oil in it, or it's a little notchy. Once you're moving like this, though, it's easy enough to steer. Very wide car, that's something you got to think about. Depending on what publication you read, these were created as 390 horsepower. The red line is, shy of 7,000 RPMs. Warming it up now, keeping the front, so probably more properly it's inside of the car. It's got, you know, the air strakes on the side. When we're done with the video, I'll show you a walk around. But on the side of each door are air intakes that car, one side has an oil cooler and the other side has a radiator. So that's how it cools down the water, it cools down the oil. And very iconic. Really cool the way they did it. My temperature gauge might say it's not completely hot. I can feel the heat. Cabin from the water. So now we're in third gear. 3,000 RPM, so about 50 miles an hour. This fourth gear, it's a 5-speed. Very famous up front with the metal shift gate. All the Ferraris that are stick shift cars, basically in the, I don't know when they started that, maybe in the 70s, definitely 80s and 90s, and they ended the shifting cars. And we're in fourth gear right now. We're doing about 55 miles an hour, 2,600 RPMs. There's fifth gear. 2,000 RPMs at almost 60 miles an hour. You know, a lot of people say that the Testarossa was more of a grand touring car, a GT car. You know, it's definitely a high performance touring car. Lamborghini Countach. That was kind of the Countach had the big scissor doors. Everybody probably remembers that. Fit and finish was, you know, in my opinion, Countach. They looked a little more cobbled together. I don't think they had as much money as Ferrari did. Bit newer car company at the time, somewhat more drivers. Back road, and we're still in. You know, this is it's a 5-liter 12-cylinder motor. To give you an idea, that would be 302 cubic inches. So it's not a huge motor. You know, it's more about RPMs, but it does have a decent amount of torque. Torque's what gets you moving, you know, so I can leave it in a higher gear and it'll still pull if it wants to, you know, like right now I'm in fourth gear, actually third gear, and it pulls fine. So no reason to have it in lower gear unless really getting on it, but again, we're just trying to warm it up, get everything to temperature, oil, water, etc. about 100 anymore. Things are happening very fast. You risk breaking things, old cars. So, anyway, I'm not doing it anymore. So we'll go for another little. I got a guy, impatient guy behind me. Can't help himself a little bit. That's what the people love about the shifting, because of the steel gated shifter. You hear a bunch of clanking noise, and that's just kind of a famous thing that has always been around them all. So they, people love that, and hey, I get it. So not a car you would want to have in traffic, especially in a freeway traffic, stop and go. Need a little bit of space, I think, driving comfortably. I'm on some kind of back country-ish roads that turn down my heat is pretty good there now. We've got a little more room to maneuver the car. A little prettier drive anyways without people all around. So, we're going about 35, third gear, about 2,000 RPM. So it's something that it's only a 5-speed, but quite frankly, it's the gears are the way it's laid out. They're all very, we call them long gears. You can do a pretty high speed in each gear. That was me. Themselves over. I'm sure they call me the Bluetooth in here, that's for sure. So I was saying that the radiators, the oil radiator and the water radiator, it's definitely something that they're pretty big, and a lot of air going through them, so they definitely keep the water and oil cooler. It's cold outside. It's 40 degrees or so outside right now, so it's something that cold air rushing over them keeps things cooler for longer. Gas tank is huge. It has just a grass mileage, you know. It's got a little bit of range because of that. But I've never taken it terribly far. Probably the longest one-way trip I've driven is probably about 80 miles up to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, from where I live down near Baltimore. A lot of car things going on there in Carlisle, pretty neat. Very scenic drive here. We're in horse country, and that's a perfect place to take out a car like this. All the interior in it this a couple months ago, and trying to catch up on all my deferred maintenance on let's call it a couple of vehicles I have. So you know, it gets hard when you own multiple vehicles to keep them you know, driving about. You want the conditions outside to be nice, and maybe not raining, snowing, obviously. Salt on the road. Doesn't just rain or whatever. So, you know, after a while, what happens is it's you switch them around a little bit. You know, so each one gets used every so often, and keeps all the gaskets, you know, as fresh as you can keep them. So it's all driver done. You got to pay attention. That's what people really love about these cars and some of the older cars. That it's, you know, there's no forgiving though when you make mistakes. So it's definitely something you need to pay attention to. One thing I'll say about these cars, the brakes were probably always undersized for the size of the car, the weight of it, the speed of it. That is a popular upgrade that people do. You know, and I can see why. You know, if you're driving them a little bit more aggressive, it's nice to be able to stop. Inside, outside, you name it. Just what they do. So here we are. Again, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And another video from Passin Gas Garage. Maybe if you can, hit a like button down there and please subscribe. There will be more videos, and definitely some different videos. So again, thanks. I appreciate it.